Hello, 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 everyone. Welcome to another edition of Cory Means Business podcast and YouTube show. Today, we are going to be talking a little bit about the COVID update for the week, as well as digging in further into some really cool marketing for Instagram. So stay tuned for that. All right, so let's start with the COVID update. So this week, we've seen a plateau, obviously, of new cases, and we're starting to see the death rates drop dramatically. The only reason why new cases aren't dropping even further is because testing is really ramping up. And what's happening is, and the reason why you see some politicians, which I won't name which particular party they're from, but you're seeing this big push to get more and more testing. The reason why they're doing that isn't because they care about you or me or anything else. It's because they want to keep the numbers bolstered up as long as they can. Very hard for some of these states to keep justifying the lockdowns if there's no new infections, right? So how do you do that? How do you keep those infections coming? You increase the testing. So the increased testing has absolutely nothing to do with we need to know who has and who doesn't. Okay, it's nonsense. And I know a lot of people are doing conspiracy theories about why they want to test so they can come and rip your children away out of your house. That's not necessarily true. What they're just trying to do, don't give them that much credit, okay? That's a little too sophisticated for who we're dealing with. What they're trying to do is they're trying to simply increase the testing so they can keep more cases coming in, so they can continue to justify the lockdowns, so they can continue to do the power grab that some of these governors are doing, some of these mayors are doing, as well as continue to hurt the economy. We talked about it last week. Really, why would they want to hurt the economy? Two reasons. One, who's doing it? Ask yourself that. It's these Democratic governors of these states that are, again, in deep debt. They owe a lot of money. They've busted their budgets by running people out of their states, by increasing the taxes and making people evade tax paying. They've done it by having these huge retirement and pension funds they have to put money into. They do too many social programs, obviously, and so they blow their budgets out. So some of these states, New York, California, Michigan, Massachusetts, they've blown their budgets out. So they need money. And somewhere like New York and California, they need billions. One estimate I saw, New York, I think, is going to need something like $50 billion, $100 billion to save themselves. So the bigger COVID problem they can have, the longer they stay locked down, the more they can ask for from the federal government. So the only thing that's going to save me is if I get a whole bunch of money from the federal government. Well, I've got to have a bigger problem. So they're perpetuating the problem, doing it two ways. One, more testing so I can keep saying I have more COVID than anyone else, give me more money. Two, they're running intentionally their economies into the ground so that they can, again, say, well, because I had to shut down for so long to protect everybody, I need more money because we missed a lot of tax revenue. And again, why? So they can make a money grab from the government, from the federal government, so they can make up these shortfalls they have on their budgets. It's all about the money. It's always about the money. It's about power and money, never about anything else. These people don't give a crap about your safety. The masks aren't about your safety. The masks are about making you stay fearful so that you will continue to buy into the reason to shut down. If there's this bad virus, if there's this boogeyman virus out there, I'm going to make you buy into it more by making you wear a mask, because now you're walking around wearing a mask and you're like, oh, I got to protect myself and everybody else from the virus. Well, that's just stoking the fear. It'd be like if I said, hey, I don't know if it's a bad neighborhood. I think it might be a bad neighborhood, but here's a gun. Now take this gun before you go into that neighborhood. Now, what are you instantly going to think about the neighborhood, right? It's not about the gun. It's about, why did I give you a gun? Well, I give you a gun to go into this neighborhood because clearly I must believe it's a really bad neighborhood and you should be fearful for your life. So you're going to walk into that neighborhood with that gun going, oh, I got to be ready to shoot anybody any second. Well, is it really a bad neighborhood? You don't know. You never even bothered to find out. Is it a bad neighborhood? You never did any data. You never did any research or any checking. You don't know if it's a bad neighborhood. You were just told before you go in this neighborhood here, you better take a gun. Because you were told to take a gun, you're automatically going to assume it must be a bad neighborhood. That's what they're doing with the masks. Wear this mask before you go outside, before you go into this place or that place. Why? Because then you think, oh, they must be making me wear a mask because there's something really bad here that I could breathe in. So that's what they're doing it. Again, these people are not as sophisticated as some people think. They're less sophisticated. Doesn't make them any less evil. It's just they're less sophisticated. It isn't this big conspiracy theory of the New World Order and all this stuff. Again, these people aren't that smart. What it is if I can continue to stoke the fear, if I can make people afraid, I can justify the lockdowns. If I justify the lockdowns, I can get more money from the government. I can save my ass. I can save my state. That's the play. That's the only play going on here. Now, at the higher levels, federal level, Gates, Fauci, all that stuff, who knows what their ultimate goals are. They're not going to get more money from the federal government. Gates doesn't need any more money. Fauci already gets a huge paycheck. He doesn't really need any more money. So, yeah, they might be making a bigger play on vaccines and more control and pushing Gates' agenda and getting more donations to the Gates Foundation and all these things. I can see them making that play. These governors aren't in on it. They're just trying to save their asses because they know their budgets are blown. They know they're going to be in huge shortfalls. So for them, it's a money grab. And you know what? Some of these governors like Newsom and the crazy governor out of Michigan, Cuomo, especially out of New York, they're loving the power. They're loving the attention. You don't think Cuomo's loving being on TV every single day, getting interviewed about his opinion? Of course he is. The guy's trying to position himself to run for president next time. So he's loving the attention. So you have all these individual reasons why they want it. Nancy Pelosi wants a lockdown so she can destroy Trump and destroy the economy so that they can claim they need us. Don't let Trump continue to do this. I mean, that's what it's all about. So it's not the New World Order. It's not the Antichrist. It's just good old-fashioned power, hungry, power grabbers, fear mongers, selling you fear so that you'll buy the cure. If I sell you the disease, you'll buy the cure. If I make you feel you have a disease, you'll buy my cure. That's what they're doing. So again, just keep that in mind. The good news is, obviously, they're opening up the states. All 50 states are open in some capacity. Again, some people are still being held down. Seeing a lot of fighting going on. I've seen some gym owners this week and some restaurants that shouldn't be opening are opening, and they're just saying, you know what, come, I'm going to be the martyr for everybody else. Come get me, shut me down, whatever. But I'm throwing it out there, which is, they're true Americans. Glad to see it. Because, yes, it's a real virus, but it's not a deadly virus. We already know that. The numbers have proven it. The statistics, the data has proven it. Countries and states that never lock down have the same or less infection rates than we do. Death rates are only the difference between whether or not people are getting proper medical care or not. Because you lock everybody down, a lot of people are not getting good medical care because they're afraid to go to the hospital. If you say, oh, the hospital's got this deadly disease, this deadly virus, don't go to a hospital. Well, now you have a whole bunch of people staying at home, dying at home, or, could have been saved, could have been cured. But now they're going to die at home because they were afraid to go to the hospital where this evil virus was. So the idea of lockdowns to begin with never had any evidence scientifically they would be effective at all. And so we didn't stop the virus at all by doing lockdowns, and all we actually accomplished was killing more people because we didn't let sick people go to the hospital because we put this unrealistic, unfounded fear into them. So the lockdowns killed people. They didn't save anyone, and they killed a lot of people. We need to learn this lesson so that these fools can't ever do this to us again. There'll be no second wave. It's all nonsense. Again, they're trying to keep the lockdowns going on so they can get more money. Don't buy it, and don't buy the second wave bullshit. It isn't going to happen. There was never a first wave. There ain't going to be a second wave. We can't allow them to ever do this to us again. We can never allow the government to shut down businesses like this again. It cannot be allowed. It doesn't matter what pandemic, epidemic comes along. It cannot be allowed. Every day you walk out of your house and you go out in the real world, you're taking a risk. You're taking a risk staying at home. You're taking a risk waking up. You're taking a risk going to sleep. Life's a risk, and you're going to die. Guess what? You're going to die. So it doesn't matter if you die from this or die from something else. You're going to die. But what you can't do because of a fear of death is stop living. What you can't do because of a fear of death is commit suicide. What you can't do because you have a fear of going outside is huddle in your house. These are unreasonable fears, and they're nothing that sane, ordinary, reasonable people do. You accept your risks. You're smart about it, right? Not saying like some of these idiots you go and start licking shopping carts, but you assume the risks within reason. You take proper precautions within reason. Hey, I like to do off-road stuff and ride motorcycles. I wear a helmet. I don't want to crack my head, but I understand it can't happen. But it's a risk I'm willing to take by doing two things. One, being careful on a motorcycle, and then two, wearing a helmet. So there you go. I mitigate my exposure to the worst thing that can happen, not by not doing the activity, by simply taking greater precautions. So we don't mitigate a virus or a pandemic or a flu or anything else by shutting down our businesses and hiding in our houses. We simply take greater precautions. We simply keep some distance. Maybe we don't shake hands for a while. Maybe we say, hey, sporting events, every other seat unless you're together. Or there's got to be an empty seat between people who aren't together, or a couple of empty seats. Maybe restaurants spread the tables a little farther apart. Maybe we don't ride the bus or the subway. Little things, not big things like shut it all down and go hide in your homes. Not those things. Again, that's insanity. We can never let it happen again. The destruction was too great. We can never let it happen again. So that's what's going on. Still going to be a fight for a while, because until these crazy governors get slapped down by the Supreme Court, they're probably going to keep trying to play the games, and they're going to keep trying to hold their people down. Can't let it happen. And remember who's doing it. So when it comes time to vote in November, remember who did this. All right. Don't forget. Don't forget who was reasonable, took proper precautions, and who was unreasonable. It's not about who you like or don't like. It's not about which party you vote for or don't like to vote for. It's not about identity politics. It's not about any of that stuff. Who is getting in my way and who isn't? Who is preventing me from my constitutional rights of life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness? If there's a politician that gets in the way of my constitutional rights, that's a politician that has to go. I don't care if they're Democrat, if they're Republican, libertarian, independent, doesn't matter. If that politician is going to get in my way of life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, the Constitution guarantees me that's a politician that has to go. So when you go to vote this November, remember which politicians held back your rights, your constitutional rights, and vote them the hell out. So that's the weekly update on the COVID. Let's get into part 2 of the marketing for Instagram. As things are opening back up again, marketing is going to be crucial, because businesses are going to need to be able to get customers, new customers. Can't rely on just your old customers. A lot of your old customers aren't going to do business with you. A lot of your old customers can't do business with you. That's a fact. So if you have a customer list, half that list, some of them are still hiding out in their homes. The other good chunk of them lost their jobs. Their businesses are shut down. So whether you have retail, the consumer space, whether you're operating the consumer space as your client base, or whether you're B2B, understand that whether you're B2B or consumer-based in what you're selling, a good chunk of your current customers are not able to buy from you for whatever reason. Either they won't come out of their homes, or they lost their jobs, lost their money, their businesses closed down. You're going to lose a lot of your client list. Understand that. There's no question about it. Your client list is going to get a lot shorter as you open up your business. So it's going to be key for you to be able to acquire new customers quickly and easily. And I'm going to show you some quick tricks here in the next 10 minutes that are really going to open your eyes up to the potential of being able to do it on Instagram. Now, Facebook has its place. Really isn't for cheap, easy marketing. Facebook is better for ads, for driving traffic through paid advertising, which I'll do a whole nother couple of episodes on how to advertise on Facebook. But we're going to keep on Instagram right now, because there's more bang for your buck for free on Instagram than there is on Facebook. Facebook, again, is more pay to play. Instagram is pay to play as well, but there's some tricks that you can do that you can really generate a lot of good quality leads for yourself and some sales for yourself and your business by just knowing these tricks. So let's dig into these tricks. Okay, first thing, we talked about it last time. Your IG's got to look good. Your Instagram has to look good. You've got to have that certain feel, that certain look to it. We talked about it. 75% of your content needs to be video. 25% can be picture. And then again, about 75% of those need to be directly attributable to what you do, what your business is. And then 25% can be a little bit more of a personal nature, as long as you're putting out your values and what else the customer would be buying from you as part of purchasing from you. When you have a small business, when you have a mid-sized business, a customer isn't just buying whatever your product or good is or service is. They're also buying who you are. If I have a small restaurant, for instance, well, yes, you're buying my steak. Well, we'll make it a steak place. You're buying my steak and you're buying my sides, but you're also buying me, who I am as the owner of that restaurant. You're buying the atmosphere. You're buying the goodwill of the restaurant. Again, do they stand behind their name? Is it quality based? Do you know you're getting a fair shake when you go there? Do you know that it's clean? Do you know that, again, there's lots of stuff that go into it that has more to do with just the steak. So understand that's what your Instagram should look like. Then from there, again, we're going to talk about what you do with that. Now, in order to get growth on your Instagram, there's a couple of hacks I'm going to give you, a couple of tricks I'm going to give you guys, which is follow people that could be potential customers for you. Don't follow celebrities. Don't follow your favorite sports figures. I mean, again, if you want to throw a couple in there, that's fine. But I'll look at some people's Instagrams, who they're following, and it's all just like celebrity-based. Their followers are celebrity-based. No one they're ever going to do business with. Follow people, interact with people who you have a great chance to do business with. If you say, hey, I can't do business with this person for whatever reason, maybe a great person, they may be smart, they may be attractive, whatever, they might be interesting, maybe doing cool shit, shooting machine guns on the weekends. Okay. But if you can't do business with them, it's a waste of follow. Don't do it. Because they probably aren't going to follow you back. When you interact with their content, they're not going to interact back with your content because they're not interested in who you are. So make it be people that would be interested in what you do. Follow people that would be interested in what you can provide. So that's the first trick. That way, there's much greater chance for them to follow you back and much greater chance for them to interact with your content. So that'll get you more followers and more likes and more views and everything else that goes along with it, which then will get you, fed back through, and Instagram will then show your stuff to even more people. The second thing, is following and interacting with certain hashtags relevant to what you do. Now, is your business just local? Is your business regional or statewide? Or is your business national? And if it is, where would your customers be hanging out? So let's stick, for the sake of this not running on for 2 hours, I could teach this for a long time, obviously. Let's stick with the example that you're a local-based business. Again, we'll keep it with the steak restaurant. You're a local steak restaurant, so people from cross state lines probably aren't coming to your steakhouse. People that do things nationally aren't going to be coming to your steakhouse. So you'd want to follow hashtags that were local to your city. So let's say that you were in San Diego, California. Well, if I'm running a steakhouse in San Diego, California, and I've got my Instagram for me, remember we talked about last time, personal branding. My steakhouse is not going to have an Instagram page. Cory, the owner of Cory's Steakhouse, is going to have the Instagram. Now, it's going to be right on my Instagram that I'm the owner of Cory's Steakhouse. But as I move, it becomes a personal brand, and I'm also advertising and doing marketing for the steakhouse. So I'm going to go and I'm going to follow hashtags in my city. So Cory Steakhouse, San Diego. It's Cory running the Instagram. It's his Instagram, but he's the owner of Cory Steakhouse. Now, who's he going to follow? Who's going to interact with? I'm going to go look for hashtags that have to do with like eating out in San Diego. Where are my customers hanging out? Where are my potential customers hanging out? Well, they're hanging out at hashtags that have to do with eating out in San Diego. Vacationing, San Diego. There's so many hashtags I could find. Vacation San Diego. Hashtag visit San Diego. Hashtag San Diego nightlife. Hashtag San Diego eats. Look up these hashtags that are going to be relevant for your business and what you do and for your demographic area. Then you can see who else is hashtagging those things. those are going to be people you're going to want to go and follow, like their content, and then they're going to see that you're doing something they're interested in. Then they're going to follow you back and interact with your content. So you're going to get a lot more engagement with these people because it's now targeted, and it's specifically targeted to people that can come and buy from you. Okay. That's what it has to be. So with that steakhouse, I'm going to go follow hashtags that have to do with eating out in San Diego. I'm going to follow some visitor sites, maybe visit San Diego, hashtag visit San Diego. Maybe I'm in a certain neighborhood like Mission Beach. I'm going to, hashtag Mission Beach. I'm going to go follow people that are hashtagging that. I'm going to interact with people that are posting with that hashtag. I'm going to like their stuff, follow them, interact with them. They're going to interact back with me. Now, it doesn't stop there. That's going to get a lot of people looking at my page, and they're going to say, oh, wow, this guy owns Cory Steakhouse. Oh, look at that. It's in downtown San Diego. Wow, pretty cool guy. He likes some of my posts. He was interacting. He followed me. You know what? Next time we go eat out, let's go eat out at Cory's Steakhouse. So you'll get a lot of page views, right? And of course, 75% of your page they're looking at is all about Cory Steakhouse. So it's got pictures of steaks and pictures of me and the restaurant and videos of me walking around the restaurant, telling everybody, hey, look, anybody that comes to my restaurant, this is the service they're going to get. This is the views. This is the thing. This is the steak. It's high. It's this. It's that. What's special about your restaurant? So basically, I'm putting out straight TV commercials, if you will, ads to everybody that looks at my page, because there's enough content on there that I'm demoing the restaurant or talking about the restaurant or hanging out in the restaurant, or some celebrity came to the restaurant and there's a picture of me and this celebrity in the restaurant. And that now when I drive you to my page by liking some of your stuff and following you, and now you come to see who I am, bam, I just hit you with all that beautiful content that had complete relevance to you coming to my restaurant. So now that's hack number one. But now let's take it a step further. You could also, and again, I'm a big proponent of this. Now you got to be careful with it. You don't want to be spammy, right? So it's got to be people that have genuinely interacted with you, not somebody just hitting up. DM campaigns work really well. DM stands for direct messaging. It works real well. So let's just say I went to, hashtag San Diego Eats. And I found somebody on there that I saw, went to some restaurant that's a competition for me, or some restaurant, that's out of my little area. And I follow that person and I like 3 or 4 of their posts. Well, they follow me back, or they like a few posts back as a courtesy. Now we have an interaction. Now I can DM them and I can say, hey, I don't know if you noticed, but I own Cory Steakhouse downtown San Diego. It'd be great if you would come down, bring your family, party of 6 or more. Tell you what, is that so? Can we do that? I don't think we can do that in California yet, but party of 4, whatever the max party is, right? Let's just say, thank God you're not in California, you're in Arizona or somewhere else. You can then do, hey, bring a party of 6. I'm going to give you 10% off. Bring a party of 6. First round of drinks are on me. And I really like value add versus giving free stuff versus giving discounts. So you're going to see as I take you through some of my marketing strategies, I don't believe in discounts unless it's discounting off of an already inflated price. Now I could say something normally priced this, but today I'm going to give it for this. That works. But don't take your normal price and then discount that, because now you're discounting what? Your profit margin. Instead, what you want to do is you want to value add. So instead of giving you 10% off your bill, you bring a party of 6 and that bill is, $500 and give 10% off, that's $50. How about I give you a free round of drinks? Well, the drinks cost me $25 and there's 6 drinks. Well, now I've spent $1.50. Instead of giving you $50 off, I spend $1.50. Now the person sees more value in the first round of drinks free than they do in the $50 off. Because $50 off is them not giving me $50. Me giving them $50 worth of free drinks is not me giving them $50. It's me giving them $1.50. But in their mind, it's the same thing as giving them $50. So you see the difference between value add versus discounts. So don't do discounts to value add. Your customer perceives the exact same value Except for you, it doesn't cost you the money and you don't lose the money. So the value's there and you don't lose the money. Win-win. Love win-win situations. So now you can start extending DM to these people that are interacting with you that are clearly possible customers, and you can start doing value add offers. Come to my restaurant, first round of drinks are on me. Come to my restaurant, free side. Come to my restaurant, whatever you want to do. Buy 4 plates, get the 5th one free. Whatever value add you want to do that won't cost you much, but there's going to be a lot of value for them. Man, you're going to drive so much traffic to your business, it's not even funny. And again, you can do this exact technique with any kind of business. Doesn't matter what kind of business it is. You could be a contractor doing this. You could be a barber. You could be a nail salon. You could be injectables, right? You could be a videographer, like my good guy Emilio here. You can be anything and still do this. Value add through a DM campaign with people that are perfect customers for you, that are already interacting with you. And you can drive so much traffic, and you can get so many people coming in and so many buyers and so many leads, no matter what you're selling. If you're selling a high ticket item, this really works. High ticket items, man, you can get 20 people interested in a week on a high ticket item. That's huge. That, you can make tons of money, again, just off these little tricks. Spending no money in advertising, just doing a little bit of elbow grease will get you tons of business. So that's my hacks. I've got some other videos on my YouTube channel. If you haven't subscribed yet, do it. I've got other videos that talk about some of this other stuff. I'll also talk about some Facebook advertising. I'm going to continue to do that. I'm also going to talk about some Facebook advertising next time on how you can drive traffic, paid traffic. This is just organic, but we're going to talk about doing paid traffic too. Ideally, you want to do both, right? You want to do paid and organic. If you're going to run a really good marketing campaign, if your marketing is going to be very, very successful, you want your lead generation coming from both paid campaigns and organic, as well as just good old-fashioned cold calling, which is what this is, right? Cold calling is not dead. Cold calling might have just changed a little bit, but cold calling works better than anything else for a business. Never forget that. And we'll talk about different techniques on how to cold call. So, hey, I appreciate you sticking around for this. If you got some value out of it, please share it, like it. And if you really like what we're doing here, please subscribe to the podcast, subscribe to the YouTube channel, because I want to keep bringing you this valuable content so you guys interact with my brand, of course, and eventually maybe someday down the road, we'll do some business. All right. Thank you so much for tuning in. Appreciate it. See you on the next one.